Binge Week Day 1. Each day this week, we're going to be kicking in the new year and the return of hockey with a video regarding the NHL and its upcoming season of the 2020-2021 season. Even though really it's just the 2021 season, but I'm just happy
still
it's
gotta
back.
call it that.
I'm just stoked it's back. With that being said, today, for the first day of Binge Week, we're going to be going over just the East Division, and join us tomorrow for the West, join us the next day for the North, and then we're going to top it off with the Central. We'll talk about rookies to look out for, we'll talk about the Battle of Alberta. We're going to be really making a lot of great content this week. And
Everything
we're very stoked to do this.
you want
We've
to
never done
know,
this before.
we're doing.
Yeah, check the description for all the information. With that being said, there are 8 teams in this new division, and we're going to start at 8, and we're going to work our way to the top.
And this team looks pretty stacked, just first thoughts. Super stacked division. Probably the best division, I would say.
I thought you were going to say team. I'm like, no, I have them finishing last. The New Jersey Devils, man. Ooh.
They're our 8th, right?
I don't really have too much positive to say about them. You brought in PK Subban last season, and he's washed up. He sucks now. He looks a little too preoccupied with some things he's got going on outside of hockey. You know, Nico Hischier, I think he's very underrated. I know he gets a lot of flack for being first overall, and they call him a bust, but I think he's a very strong leader, and he's very strong on the ice. So he's a playmaker. His hockey IQ is unmatched, in my opinion. I think it's about time to make him the damn captain.
This team's a goddamn dumpster fire.
They are a dumpster fire.
Got rid of Hall, gave him to Buffalo. I don't know what they're doing right now. Really.
Exactly. Well, they didn't necessarily give him to Buffalo, but it just kind of works out that he is on Buffalo.
Yeah,
right
1 year
now, playing
contract.
in the same division, you know. But Jack Hughes, I think he can have a breakout year this year. I think last year he was just a little too young. I also have Palmieri over here. I think Palmieri could be moved.
The one good thing, though, is they did draft very well, I feel.
Yeah. They got Holtz
pretty
now.
solid.
The great Holtz and Mercer. Holtz is a natural-born goal scorer. Blackwood, they were able to re-sign him after losing Corey Schneider, which isn't a really big loss, and Keith Kincaid, he's gone too. But Mackenzie Blackwood, I think, is a very solid tendy. He's young, and he can go really far for them, and backing him up now, they brought in Corey Crawford from Chicago. Even though it's not going to make that much of a difference, but it's better than what they had.
Yeah, I do like Crawford. You know me, I'm a big Crawford fan.
I know
feel like he's going to be very good in goal.
Moving up to the 7th position. Again, now, only 4 of these teams can make the playoffs. The 7th team I have here is the Buffalo Sabres, new over here in this division. Oh, man, this team is tough.
They're just weird. They look weird to me.
Yeah, I don't like what I'm seeing. They brought in Taylor Hall, like I just said, but what's that really doing if Eichel's out for these next couple months with surgery?
It's not really doing anything.
You know, Hall, it's a 1-year deal. I mean, you're not really losing anything with him, but I don't think it's going to really do anything for them.
Yeah, dude, I agree. Like, I do like Eichel. You know me, I'm a big Eichel advocate.
I'm a big fan of American players.
As you said, he's injured, you know? I don't know what he's going to do.
Exactly. I don't know if he's going to be returning anytime soon. And when you really look at this team, I mean, other than Taylor Hall, I mean, if you want to keep Hall, you don't have the cap for him. So you're going to have to either trade Sam Reinhart with that sexy contract he has, or Ristolainen. The only problem with moving Ristolainen is what they want for Ristolainen is not what Ristolainen's worth.
And you could make an argument, too, with Olofsson that he could fill, you know, Eichel's shoes. But the thing is
Victor Olofsson, is he a fluke? Do you think he's going to be able to do it again this season?
I think he's a fluke, dude.
I think the goalie situation's horrible. I think it's time to fire the coach. The team just strikes me as weird. I like Dylan Cousins. I think he's really up and coming, and he's a very underrated draft prospect that they have.
Not related to Marcus Cousins, by the way, but I do that as well.
Just throw that out there. But, you know, they also did add Eric Stahl and Rasmus Dahlin. He's another former first overall draft pick and a very, very solid defenseman.
Super underrated. I feel like if you're not a Buffalo fan, you don't really rate the guy, but you should.
Exactly.
You know?
You should really talk about him more. That brings us to the New York Rangers. Now, a lot of people have the Rangers making the playoffs this year. I just think they're too young. I think they need a little more time before they can really make a splash.
Too inexperienced, do you think?
Yeah, I think they're too inexperienced. I think they're too young. I think it's going to take some time. I mean, they have some veteran leadership. I mean, you have Artemi Panarin. He knows what it's like to win. He's a natural-born goal scorer. And they also have Zibanejad. You traded Brassard for him a while ago, and that really turned out to be great for you guys. Zibanejad and Panarin combo is lethal. They got Lafreniere first overall this year. That kid's going to be a beauty. Capo Kakko second overall last year. I think Kakko's going to turn up this year.
I like that Russian synergy that I see on the Rangers.
Exactly. Well, in the new goalie, I mean, Lundqvist is finally gone. You know, it's good luck to him wherever he goes.
Yeah, it's
right
kind of hard for him, but
it's very upsetting.
We'll get to that in another video.
Exactly. We'll have another video probably this week about Henrik Lundqvist, but that's all very upsetting. But now replacing him is Igor Shesterkin. Played a couple games with the team last year. Looks absolutely incredible.
It looks
One
like
of
he
the
could
future
replace
goaltenders of the NHL greats.
Yeah, he could replace Lundqvist, I feel. You know,
exactly. I think so too. He's going to be the new king of New York. And backing him up, you have Georgiev, another solid tendy. I think Chris Kreider will be named captain this season, but
he should be.
With the youth this team has in Adam Fox, a very strong defenseman. I do think Jacob Trouba is overrated for that price that they're paying him. But, you know, Hedl.
Cockinator, you know?
Yeah, wow. We're going to get demonetized for that. But a lot of very solid, great players. The only problem is I think they're a little too young.
Is Trouba solid, though? I feel like he's a little bit overrated.
That's what I'm saying. I think Trouba's a little overrated for what they're paying him. And on the last team I have not making the playoffs right now at what is that, number 5? Yeah, number 5 is the Pittsburgh Penguins. I think this year is the make it or break it. You don't make the playoffs, rebuild. You make the playoffs, you lose in the first 2 rounds, rebuild.
Yeah.
After they won in 16 and 17, they're just retooling. You trade Kessel for Galchenyuk. You trade Galchenyuk for Zucker. Zucker didn't do it for you this year. Now you got rid of Matt Murray. You're putting all this pressure on Tristan Jarry and Casey DeSmith. The
Get rid of Kapanen and bring back Kapanen, do crazy
exactly
stuff with
everything you're doing with this team. I mean, you get rid of Cahoon, you try to get Cahoon back. It's like I don't know what this team's doing now you lost Sheary, you lost Schultz, you lost Hagelin a little while ago. You try to get Hagelin back. This team to me they strike me as just unconfident and confused. There's no chemistry.
It strikes me like they want to do a mini rebuild, but then at the same time they don't want to do a rebuild.
It's not even a rebuild. Rebuild. It's like a retooling phase that's just not benefiting them whatsoever.
If I was them, I'd blow the roof off that house right now.
I think they should. And Malkin's coming up. That contract is going to be ending, and honestly, don't resign him.
I'll do a little home makeover.
Let him go. I think it's a change of scenery for the better. I would keep John Marino. He's a great defenseman. He's up and coming and young. Another way to win that trade.
He's young, but they do have an aging core.
They do have an aging core. Chris Letang, I think it's time for him to be shipped out. And when I saw Patrick Hornqvist got traded, I was like, that's a solid move. They need the cat just to bring in a worse Jack Johnson. They bring in Mike Matheson.
It's
the team's
despicable.
a joke. The team's a joke. You have no cap. I say get rid of everybody other than John Marino, Jake Gensel, and Sidney Crosby.
Yeah, they look like a shadow.
And I do love Brian Rust.
From the 2016-2017
era. It's
era.
upsetting watching them,
It is.
But I think Jim Rutherford needs to be fired. Now for the 4 teams that will make the playoffs. At number 4, we have the Philadelphia Flyers.
A sleeper pick.
A sleeper pick. The whole team looks very solid. Carter Hart's going to lead them great. They looked great last year. They made it pretty far, but the Islanders smacked them, even though they forced the Game 7. Even Provorov is such an incredible player with that monster contract, but he kind of puts them in a strange predicament now with Shane Gostisbehere. I think Gostisbehere will be traded now because he's not looking like the guy they thought he was when they paid him.
Yeah, I agree, dude. I feel like Provorov's going to be a big name in the future.
Provorov should be a huge name. I think he's one of the best defensemen in the league, and he's very underrated.
Definitely the best on that team.
I mean, there's a lot of players on the team that don't get the attention from the National Hockey League like they should. Claude Giroux.
That's a big one.
Voracek, Couturier. Oscar Lindblom, welcome back. It's a lot of these players, they deserve more attention, so I think the team's a sleeper. Carter Hart is going to lead this team. Carter Hart is huge. It's so great seeing they actually have a solid goaltender for the first time.
He reminds me of a Lundqvist-esque player.
Yeah, I can see that a lot.
I can see him staying with the Flyers for a very long time.
Definitely. I love seeing all these young goalies right now stepping up in the league.
I like that, too. This guy's not Russian, though.
So. No, this guy's not Russian.
He's different from the rest. He's built different.
He's one of us. But moving up from there, I have the Islanders. I'm expecting another good year from the Islanders because they're the same team, realistically, they were last year. They just re-signed Green, Martin, and they brought in Corey Schneider for the Sound Tigers.
I feel like this time, too, people aren't going to underestimate them.
No, they do. If they could have beat Tampa last season in the conference finals, I think they would have beat Dallas. I think they could have been your champions.
They definitely,
Trotz's defensive system is just unmatched.
Dude, Trotz is an absolute beauty. You saw what he did on the Caps. Now he's doing magic with the Islanders.
Exactly. They bought out Boychuk. They had to trade away Taves. But defense is still looking great. They expect high things from Noah Dobson. I think it's time to let the kids play. They got to re-sign Barzal and Louis Trust, but will they do that?
That's what I was going to say. At the time of making this video, there's some question marks going on
the
island.
When this comes out, we'll have an answer. But in Louis Trust, do you trust Lou?
I do trust him.
He's old. He's really old, but he's still on his rocker. But do you think he's going to fall off?
I trust him. I think Barzal's going to stay.
I agree.
I think he's going to do it.
I think he's going to stay too. I think it's going to be a bridge deal.
Maybe not for long, but I feel like he will stay.
Nelson, Lee, Bailey, you guys got to stay hot. Pajot they brought in, these guys got to stay hot. They got to stay hot.
Pajot's got to be big this season.
Exactly. Pellick and Pulak, they lock it down. Pellick's very underrated on the island. Dude. It's gonna be an interesting season to watch, and they have Sorokin now.
And I like Pellick
no
too.
more Grice, they got Sorokin.
His posse just keeps growing and growing,
It's growing huge, man. But Sorokin, I think Sorokin's gonna be the number 1 tendy next year.
You think so?
I'm expecting a lot. He was like the number 1 in the KHL, and it's about time Ilya Sorokin joins the island.
What do you call him, the newcomer of the year?
I call him the White Whale.
I do too.
I think he's gonna make a splash too.
The Orca.
Which brings us on to the top 2, Washington Capitals.
They look absolutely amazing.
They looked amazing last year. The only problem was the coach. They went and won Trotz, so they got a new coach. He sucked. Now they got another coach, and he doesn't suck. So I think that's going to speak volumes for the Washington Capitals.
I think it's going to change everything.
They also brought in a lot of new names. They brought in Justin Schultz. They brought in Van Riemsdyk. They brought in Chara, which is very weird. I can't get used to that. They brought in Connor Sheary. Samsonov, he's up and coming. No more Braden Holtby. Samsonov and Craig Anderson are your new goalies there.
That's an upgrade.
Ovechkin's nothing without Backstrom, so thank God you still got them. This team's just looking incredible.
Yeah,
everything about this team looks. If you want to talk about balance, this is a balanced team. There's no weak points of this team. They're an aging core. Other than that, this is a very good team.
The equilibrium is sublime, And with Ovi again, Ovi's not Ovi without Backstrom.
Exactly. So having that guy who's going to assist every one of your goals, he's going to be the reason you break Gretzky's record.
Yeah, dude. Put some pride into Backstrom.
Seriously. Exactly. An incredible team, and As I'm saying, they got John Carlson on that blue line too, with Schultz, Van Riemsdyk, and Chara.
Now the better Carlson, I would say.
Yeah, John Carlson. I sit next to Victor Hedman. He's the best defenseman in the league.
Yeah, definitely better than Eric Carlson. Sure, right now.
No competition. Yeah. John Carlson's incredible, and I'm proud to call him an American. Which brings us to our number 1 team in this division,
uno.
the Boston Bruins. Now, the Caps could overtake them, but the reason we have the Bruins at number 1 is
the Trinity, right?
Strictly because of that trident up front.
Yeah.
David Pastrnak, Patrice Bergeron, Brad Marchand. Who do you think is going to be named captain? Because now Chara's not the captain.
Who do I think? I'm going to give it to Pasta. Screw it.
Really? That young? Well, I actually
young.
respect that take a lot because everyone's saying Bergeron, including myself. And I think that you want to turn around and give it to Pasta. I think that's an awesome take.
Starting out young, the check man himself.
Exactly, because realistically, how many more years do you think Bergeron has? Only a couple.
Yeah, that's the
Pasta's
thing.
going to be there a long time. Make him the captain now.
Yeah, he's got to learn now. He's got to learn to have that leadership
Bergeron's
quality.
earned it, but hey, for all we know, it could be Marchand too. Yeah?
Marchand, no, dude, I can't.
Yeah? But I would even give it to David Krejci. I think Krejci's another great.
You think so?
David Krejci's another great leader. This team is another team with a lot of depth, but they did lose Torrey Krug, and I don't think the team and the fans and management really understand how much that's going to impact them.
That is going to impact them.
I know you still have Charlie McAvoy, who's another great American player, and you got Matt Grzelcyk. Yeah, very young, both young defensemen. But Torrey Krug was a very strong member back there, and you need that because your goaltenders are looking a little weird.
Yeah, I would say, that's what I was going to say. The 2 red flags with them right now is probably Torrey Krug leaving and, their goaltender.
Exactly.
Tuukka
Rask. I mean, fans are kind of over him, and I think he might be over getting the abuse in Boston. I think he might want to change. And thank God you got my boy Yaroslav Halak to back him up. I mean, they love him there, and I think Halak is finally getting the recognition that I think he's always deserved because he didn't get on the Island, he didn't get in Washington, he didn't get in Montreal, he didn't get in St. Louis. So I'm happy he's getting in Boston.
He could be a starter, He could
I think he might
That
be
is a hot take, but he could be
season.
one.
The team has a lot of good depth, as I said, and
they're our number 1 pick.
with that, join us tomorrow as we go over the North Division.